Success looks so easy from the outside, but all successful people have had to overcome enormous obstacles along the way, and in many cases, look failure right in the eye. Most successful people don't focus on the struggle, and rarely do they talk about it because, quite frankly, that's not what creates success. Join us here where we will chat with fierce female entrepreneurs and share the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship, and talk about the obstacles we have faced and how you can overcome them to reach the success that you desire. I am your host, Kamie Lehmann, and this is the She's Invincible podcast. Oh my gosh. So I get the honor to introduce you to our next student. Oh, and this one is such a special one too. This is definitely a story of Invincible right here, you guys. For a Be Invincible podcast school to have a student come through like this amazing Invincible Wendi Bergin is such an honor and a joy. Congratulations to you, first of all, for your podcast. And I say that, and I mean that like 100 million times, and you know that, right? And we're going to share a little bit about your story now, but I am so excited for you. I feel like I took you as my personal mission. And so I can't wait to share. So before I do, though, I would love for you to introduce yourself to our listeners. Who are you? Who's Wendi? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for being such a fantastic mentor and coach. You worked a miracle as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, Wendi, it's been a joy and an honor to be your cheerleader.
You do a great job, and I hope that I can become more and more like you as I mature one of these days.
How about you just be the best Wendi you can be?
I'll do that too. So I'm Wendi Bergin, and my family and I just moved to Florida from New Jersey about 5 months ago. So we're still getting to know the area and the weather and all the good things. So far, all good things. Haven't seen an alligator yet, so that's good. Lots of spiders, though. And I help mothers who have teenagers going through their teenage evolution. And I help mothers not to be a victim to that by helping them realize that they can be happy regardless of what's going on in their home. And really, you can expand that to what's going on in the world. The home is just a microcosm. And I teach mothers to look around. What do they want to learn? And specifically, I help them learn skills of resourcefulness and resilience in the form of bread baking and gardening, food preservation, natural remedies, anything you could think of that is self-reliant. That's what I do.
I love it. And tell us about your podcast. What is the name of your podcast? What inspired that name? And what can people expect to learn from your podcast? Why should they listen to you?
Well, so many good reasons. But the name of my podcast is Joyfully Prepared. And the reason why I call it Joyfully Prepared is, as I've grown up in the world of preparedness, I've noticed that so many people call themselves doomsday preppers. And I don't like that. I don't like fear. I don't like doom. I don't like gloom. I can't even watch trailers on TV for scary movies. So that's not who I am. I want people to be joyful and recognize that being prepared has nothing to do with doom and gloom. Being prepared allows you to be joyful in moments that may catch you off guard, or you just have an extra couple boxes of brownie mix so that when your kid says, I have to bring a treat tomorrow, you're prepared. You don't have to go around crazy. You're ready to go. So it comes in lots of different forms. And I'm joyful. basically, I just believe in joy and that you can be joy in learning and growing and then serving others.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So well, let's do this. I was going to ask you one question. I'm going to ask you this other question and we'll just talk a bit. But I met you. You were a Facebook friend of mine. And I met you initially through another podcast school that I attended and you attended. And so that was kind of our connection. And we've been Facebook friends for like 2 years now. And just, as Facebook friends who never really met each other, just casually knew each other, commented on each other's things and reacted and liked and those kinds of things, and just very supportive in the background. And then we had this conversation and about your podcast. So my question was going to be, what made you decide to start a podcast? But in your case, you had already started your podcast and then you stopped and came to a complete stop. So I would love to just ask you, what was it that made you decide to go ahead and continue forward after you had already done it, already stopped and decided you weren't doing it? What was that about for you?
I always wanted to do a podcast, even before I joined the first podcast school, probably a year before that, maybe 2. I'm like, I want to do a podcast. And I investigated things, but there's just so many moving parts that it overwhelmed me. And then I was introduced to the first podcast school by another mutual friend. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. It was right when the lockdown started, like right then with COVID. And I started off, I did all the things, like got the artwork done. I did my intro, outro stuff. I had it submitted and accepted into iTunes. So everything is sitting in there. And then the push came without, I feel like I didn't have the support, but it probably was there. Honestly, I didn't know how to ask for the support. And I got a little freaked out. And so I just moved on and I didn't, but it was still sitting out there. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And then whatever that day was back last March, or not last, but just last month, you and I had that conversation, and you're just like a breath of fresh air. And I believed you, Kamie. I believed that you wouldn't leave me behind. And you've had to push and pull on me and encourage me. And you probably have had headaches because of me.
Never, not one headache in 30 days.
30 days. I don't know. We still have a couple to go. But you're just always so encouraging. And so you're going to get this done. Like, it's already done as far as you were concerned. It was going to be done, period. There was no way you were going to let me slide on any of this. And that has been one of the most welcoming experiences, because that's how I feel towards the people I work with. I'm not letting them go. I'm going to stay with them. I'll teach them. I'll stay up with them. I'll do some of the stuff for them. But I'm never going to relinquish my guidance, my love, and my confidence in them. And that's what you did for me. One of the first times I've had that happen as a business owner.
Oh, Wendi, it's been such a joy to work with you. You have been so fun. And I just love, like, you like to work on your own, but it's like almost like you want the security, right? You want the net underneath. Like, I'll walk on the tightrope, you be the net. If I fall, you'll catch me, right? And then I can scream and you'll come. Like, that has been so much fun for me. You know, we've had several students all at the same time. They all have different personalities. They all learn different. It has been so much fun to just learn all of the different things about you, what makes you tick, how you do. I mean, I'm in awe just at the fact that you have 7 kids. Like, I think if you could do that, you could do anything, right? I think that's what convinced me. Like, she can do a podcast. She has 7 kids. That's ridiculous. She can do anything, but I just love that. And I love that I was able to do that with you, because believe it or not, I learned more in that experience than you'll ever learn in just how people work differently, what stops them, and when they stop, what they need to keep going, right? And I saw the signs just from the conversations that we had, and I was able to stay on that. And I told you, and I meant it. If we have to throw you over our shoulders and run up the hill with you, then that's what we're going to do. And you know what? We didn't have to, but we were willing to. And I think that's what you needed to know.
Yes.
I think that was the part that you needed to know, was like, they are in it to win it with me, and we are doing this. And I'm just so thrilled. And honestly, it's been an honor. So tell us, what is the challenge the biggest challenge you had to overcome in this process?
That's a really good question. The challenge for me is asking people to do something for me. My business is built on self-reliance. I am very confident in doing gardening or whatever it is all by myself. I'm very comfortable, except for my husband. He has to lift things for me, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
He's amazing. But this required me to reach out to people and ask them, would you be on my podcast? And the challenge was the flip. The flip was they weren't doing anything for me. They were, but I also was very respectful of them and gave them an opportunity to share what they know, their expertise, their genius. And I learned amazing things. And when I came away from each one of these interviews, I was a better person. And I knew that when people heard my podcast, they would be better because they listened to these guests as well.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I remember that conversation we had, right? And you were saying, I don't feel comfortable asking them to help me. And man, did we turn that around, right? Like those people, and I got the privilege of listening to a few of your episodes. Those people were honored that you created and held a space for them to be able to share their expert zone of genius with the world and to be able to make a bigger impact. And they were so grateful. They weren't doing you a favor. And, you know, you two were collaborating in a way that was going to make a bigger impact in the world. And I heard that in those interviews of how grateful they were that you included them in this big thing that you did. And you did it, Wendi. You did it. Yay. Oh my gosh, Wendi Bergin, you did it. And I could not be more excited for you. It has been such a joy to work with you. And I would love for you to tell me, what did you enjoy the most about this process?
I really enjoyed, I was shocked at how much I enjoyed talking to people. I really thought it was going to be a horrible burden, this horribly awkward thing. And in the beginning, it was awkward, to be honest with you, but the people that, well, you helped me, and a couple of the other people were my friends. And so they totally understood where I was coming from. And everybody was amazing. And I love listening to people and they're expert, and I was able to take it and apply it to my life immediately. It was so fun for me. And I think I posted on my Facebook, I said something like, I knew my gift of gab would someday change the world. And it did. And it will, because the people I'm bringing out and the questions I'm asking, they will change the world. And I'm so tickled by that.
100%. They are changing the world already. I know I listened to a few, as I mentioned, and I just, it was so joyful for me to listen to you interacting with these people. You were having as much fun as they were and really engaging in the conversation. And oh my gosh, how powerful is that to be able to collaborate with someone on that level where you're both learning, right? You're sharing, they're sharing, and all of this is going out into the world to make a bigger difference. And you, Wendi Bergin, are the proud podcast host of Joyfully Prepared. And I am so excited for you. Congratulations. I am shaking my pom-poms for you.
Thank you so much, Kamie. It's been a delight to become your friend and to have you mentor me. I really, really appreciate that for forever.
Oh, Wendi, the honor has been all mine. Such a gift. such a gift to be able to just prove it to me, prove it to you, prove it to everyone, right? That it doesn't matter what it looks like, right? You can do anything. Now you know, right? You're going to look at things differently now. Now you know I can do anything. Look what I did. And you can talk yourself into anything you want right now, and go forward and continue to step to each new level of greatness that is within you. And listen, that is the biggest gift in the world, to be able to watch someone do that and to be able to continue to watch as it happens. And I cannot wait. I will be waiting every week to listen to your new episodes as they come out, and I will be cheering from the rooftop for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you were inspired or learned something new, please subscribe to the podcast, give us a review, and share us with your friends. For more information about me and how I can support you, please stop on over to my website at KamieLehmann.com and book a free call with me. I'd love to meet you and learn more about how I can support you.